Hello, welcome everyone. To start, you might want to have a couple blankets. I have two blankets set out here, and you might want to sit on a blanket and place your feet, soles of the feet together. So you're making a diamond shape with your legs. And sitting up on the blanket will prevent or help prevent at least rounding of the spine. So if you feel you're sort of like this, sitting up on a blanket will lift the hips up a little bit and have that tilt to the pelvis. So you can have that longer spine. So we want to hinge forward from the hips. So coming into this position, this butterfly pose, and with a long spine, just start to come forward. You can have your hands on the floor or the blanket, or you could bring a prop like a couple blocks and just use them as arm rests. Another option is to put your elbows on the blocks, and you might want to put them up a little higher for this variation. Bringing your hands together and maybe resting your forehead on the back of your thumbs. This can be very calming to the nervous system. So find whatever variation feels best to you. And then I would suggest holding for maybe 2-3 minutes if you can. And of course, even 1 minute can be really beneficial, but I would try to go for at least a minute. If you can't go for a minute, work up to it. And then you might find you want to stay longer. You could close your eyes or just find a soft gaze. If you're not supporting your head, just keep your neck neutral. And in this position with the feet a little bit away from the hips, we're getting into the outer hips and inviting a little bit of length through the low back. You could focus on your breath here. Just notice how your breath is moving through your body. And letting your legs and hips be soft and heavy. Taking nice full breaths. And you might notice how long your inhale is. And then see if you can gently extend your exhale by maybe about 2 counts or even more, longer than your inhale. So if your inhale is about maybe 4 or 5 seconds, see if you can have your exhale about 6 or 7 seconds, and maybe even longer. It just might be naturally after a while, might even be twice as long as your inhale. That also is very calming to the nervous system. Take a few more breaths here. And then on your next inhale, if you're using blocks, just set them aside. And then slowly press up onto your hands. Use your hands to close your knees like a book and extend your legs out straight in front of you. If you'd like, you can stay sitting on that blanket you were sitting on, or you could come off of it, coming into a seated forward fold. If your hamstrings are really tight, you might benefit from a blanket or a towel opened up, maybe something like this, and then roll it into a roll, something like that. And then you could lift your knees and place that rolled blanket under the knees and just rest your legs over the blanket. This can be really comfortable, especially if your hamstrings are tight, or even if you tend to hyperextend the legs, if you have pretty flexible hamstrings. And this allows you to hinge a little easier from the hip crease. And also it gives your forearms a little resting place there. Hands where they make sense to you. So hinging from the hips to come forward with a long spine initially. And then if you have a block handy, you could also angle it with your hands and rest your hands on your lower legs. And it may or may not feel comfortable to just sort of angle the block and rest your forehead on the block. And the hands are still holding the block so it feels supportive. Legs are soft and relaxed. And you can begin to soften into your shoulders and upper back. And if you'd like, you can mix it up a little bit. You could come up part way. You might lengthen the spine as you inhale. Maybe you decide to remove the blanket for a little bit and get into your hamstrings a little more and straighten the legs out, keeping your spine long, hinging forward. And initially, do try to keep your spine long rather than rounding. If you don't have any low back issues, you could come forward as far as you can with a long spine, and then you can relax and soften the spine, letting it just round naturally, but trying not to come forward with a round spine. Maybe blocks, like little armrests, maybe supporting your head. Tuning into your breath. Elongating the exhale and supporting the head with your hands or a prop is very calming for the nervous system. So one final pose, which is great whenever you need a little break. Legs up the wall. I'm going to place another blanket here. I like to sit with my back against the wall over to the edge of my blanket that I'm going to be laying on, and then lay down on my nearest side and then swing my legs up. So now my hips are pretty close to the wall. I can adjust easily, and I can also bend my knees, plant my feet on the wall, and you can lift your hips and adjust any blankets under your hips that you would like. And when you feel comfortable there, and make sure you are warm enough and have enough support, you can use an eye pillow or even just a tissue, or simply close your eyes. You might extend the arms out to the side and just start to notice your breath. Notice sensation in your legs. This is a position which is so calming to the nervous system. Just tune into your body. You could be here as long as you want. Tune into your breath. Just take that time to be mindful, present, and aware. Taking time for your self-care. Noticing your breath, the sound of your breath, this very calming sound. And with each exhale, invite your body to relax and release a little bit deeper. And when you have decided that you are done with your legs up the wall, you could slowly bend your knees and maybe just have your feet on the wall. And then bring your feet together. Knees are bent, and just roll over to one side and use your hands and arms and slowly press yourself back up. So I hope you enjoyed those 3 poses that are really great to do at the end of the day to help you find a more restful sleep. And just use these poses at any time during your day whenever you need a calming yoga moment. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and check out the next video. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. Namaste.